It has officially been 10 days of 2025. It's already been 10 days of this year, and some of you have achieved virtually nothing. Some of you have achieved more than you could imagine in just 10 days. I'm going to show you how to be the best version of yourself this year and how to have goals set for this year, and not just how to have goals, how to actually accomplish them. So it's been 10 days. I'm going to show you how to set 10 goals and actually achieve them. So the first thing I want to start with is the reason why you fail your goals is because, one, you don't write them down. So one, write them down. You're going to be more likely to write down your goals if you know your goals and you have them written down. So that's number one. Number two, and this is where it gets complicated and it gets more leveled out. It's not as simple as, oh, I have 10 goals and I wrote them down, so I'm going to achieve them. It's more complicated than that, and it gets deeper into it. So the other thing is the goal has too much of a deadline. So some goals will be too focused on when the goal is going to happen. How much of the goal do I want to do? I want to achieve the goal by this time and I want it to be this much, rather than focusing on the internal. So if I like to believe that the external world is a reflection of your internal world. So what you see in your life, right? Like, let's say your room. Your room is a great representation of your mind. It's a great representation of your subconscious. It's the same thing with rules. It's the same thing with everything. Everything on the outside as the inside, blah, blah, blah. You have to think of your goals as this. You can't simply say, I want to read 100 books this year. How about you set the goal of, I want to read every day this year, no matter if it's 1 page or 100 pages. I want to read every day this year. So it's sort of about focusing, not necessarily on the when or how much or this, unless that goal is already a habit and you want to build on top of it. Don't focus on that. Focus on what you need to do to achieve that. So don't focus on the result, focus on the action. You got to focus on the inside of the machine, not what it's putting out. Get what I mean? So build your machine. Focus on what you need to do to achieve your goal, not the goal itself. The goal will come if you focus on what you need to do. So actions over results, always. Whenever with goals, it's always that. The next thing, and the most important thing that no one talks about when it comes to goal setting, when it comes to achieving success, and when it comes to setting the best year for yourself, right? Identity. So what a lot of people don't talk about is who you are. That's a bird. Who you are and who you think you are will affect what you do more than thinking about what you're gonna do. So what this means is a lot of people, they don't realize that the negative things and the positive things all come from some sort of sense of identity. It's not about what you do, it's about who you are, right? So in the sense of, if I truly believe that I am a talented football player, when I go on the pitch, I have that confidence. If I truly believe that I am very intelligent, then I will walk into a room with that confidence. It's about who you are rather than the other way, which is, oh yeah, I can play football. If you walk into the pitch and you're like, I am a football player, rather than I can play football or I play football, it's so much stronger when it's associated with identity. And identity is also focused on sort of, this is something that I consistently do, not I just do every once in a while, or it's a habit, kind of, it's a hobby, kind of. No, this is who I am. And when you go into that, it's much stronger of a force, of a mentality, of a mindset. And this is what I'm going to talk about, which is the last topic, is mission. So you have your identity, you have your mission, and you want to use both of them, because your mission is your identity is your mission, right? So they are separate things, but they go into each other. So, example, the mission is to win this year's championship final of my football match, right? The identity is, I am going to become the winner of this year's football match. That's the goal. Both are the goal, but both are the same, but different. Different in the sense of one is identity and one is mission. One is who you are, the other is what you do. One is the external and one is the internal, right? Both can be considered external in a sense, but I like to think that the identity is truly internal. Because if you think about it, you walk down the street and no one knows who you are, but you know who you are, right? So that's why I like to think of it more as internal. External is anyone can play a football game, but is everyone a football player? And if you can believe it here, it will manifest. And I don't like the word manifest as it's used today, but if you can imagine it and if you can believe it, it will become true. You hear a lot of people say, dream it into reality. Oh, my dreams came true. That's my dream one day. You have to start believing that dreams are real. Like, when you wake up from a dream, if you remember that dream happened in your subconscious. And that's too much into psychology and everything like that. But it's in the sense of identity and mission. These two things must be taught as, and they must be thought as working together, right? So they can't be separated, and then they can't be against each other, and you can't have one without the other. One is weak without the other, right? So if you have the mission of posting 10 YouTube videos, how are you really gonna achieve that? By thinking, I am the guy who posts 10 YouTube videos. I am a YouTuber. You understand? So the identity has a lot to do with accomplishing goals, which goes back to our beginning, writing down the goals, focusing on action over results. Same thing with identity and mission. You must focus on the action of your mission. The results are who you become. You must believe who you are before you become who you want to be. So if you can see it here, it will happen. But you must believe that you are this person before you can actually do the thing. And through doing the thing, you become that person, right? So I'm not saying lie to yourself, but a big thing that people use and a big thing that people say to themselves is fake it till you make it. And in a sense, that's very powerful, because this is not where I am. This is where I want to be. This is where I am. This is where I want to be. I'm gonna pretend like I'm here till one day I get there. And I don't think that that's the best way of accomplishing goals. But it says something. And it says that you first must think that you're worthy of this before you can get there. So focus on your identity, focus on your mission, write down the actions and goals that you have, because that's what's gonna achieve the mission and make you who you want to be, the guy that achieves that mission and gets those goals done this year. So it's been 10 days. You have 355 left to go, and I'm sure you'll do very well if you listen to the things that I've shared here. I hope you found it helpful, as these things are things that truly changed my life, and I use them for my future.